So you want to have a head sketch. The first thing you do is you draw a circle to represent the head. So then, like a cylinder for the neck. You understand? So as soon as you draw the circle, the next thing to do is to divide it into two, and divide it again into two, because this part is equal to this part is equal to this other part too, and half up is equal to half. But what's this line standing for? This line stands for the position where the eyes will be. You understand? So for the eye, you can draw an oval. But notice the distance between the two eyes is equal to one eye. So this is like one eye now, and this is like the second eye. At this moment, I'm not concerned whether it looks exactly like the person or not. The most important thing is to see that the features of the person is there. And in this particular pose now, light is coming from one side and the other side is a bit darker. So you can have a triangle for the nose. Now there is a line in between. You have divided it already. So you work with shapes. So this is also like a shape. The upper lip is like this shape, and also the lower lip too, like this shape. You can even use an oval to do it in some cases. So the distance between the lower part of the lips to the jaw, you mark it out. So at this point now, you have positioned all the elements that you want, the features of the face, you have positioned them. So what's the next thing to do? You calculate the eyebrow, then the eyebrow. There's a distance between the eye and the eyebrow. It looks like they are close, but there's still some particular distance in those areas. Then from the eye, you measure to give you the ear. The ear is a little bit above the head, and from the nose region, the ear stops. You understand? So now, the next thing is we want to start putting in some of the details, but not fully. First, we try to draw the eye out. So from here to here, we have the eye, the upper eyelid, then the eyelashes, then we have the eyeball. So we have the eye socket, and the white area of the eye. Remember how we treated the eye the other time. So then you have the flesh covering part of the eye. Then you have the other part too. This is the upper part of the eyelid. The skin covering the eye. So you just follow the lines that show you the contour lines. So in this case now, this is the eyebrow up. Then you move to the other side. As you can see, here I'm using some of the lines of the highlights, the light around the face. I use it to try to capture some lines. But the distance is you have already marked from here to the other eye. So you draw the other eye by drawing the upper eyelid first, and take it the way that is comfortable for you. Then you take the other lower part of the eyelid. Then you also take the eye. Remember, you are drawing from life. When you're drawing from life, even if the model change the eye, like in this case now, if she change where she's focused on, you still have to make sure that you exercise patience, allow the model to look at the same place so that the two eyes will be facing the same direction. Then from here now, you have the eyelid for the second eye. So already have the eyelid for the second eye. These are the features of the eye, the lower eyelid, then the skin covering the lower part of the eyelid. Then now we're going to the nose. You have the distance between these two spots. Then you have a circle. Remember, you were given something like 3 circles to identify the nose. Although when you get used to it, you don't need those circles. All you just need is to focus on how the eye, maybe how the nose really look like, and get the nose tree and the skin covering the nose. So in this case the nose is already setting, so you have this line coming down, then you come to the mouth, so the upper part of the lips, then the upper part of the upper lips, then you see the break in the lips. You know what a contour is? The contour is the area that is protruding, the area that swells. So the surface of what you're doing. So that's the upper lip now. So we go straight to the lower lip. Take the lower lip. Then there's the lower lip too. So then we have some extension. So at this stage now, we've been able to register from the eye down to the lips. So what we want to do next now is to take the side. So let's look at the side. So there's a contour, that's where the chin protrude. That's what you're seeing here. So I'm drawing it out. So there's light here, I'm separating it. So what I'm doing now is I'm separating the areas that are light from the areas that are dark. So this area too is light, and the hair has a shadow. Now in live drawing is more challenging than drawing from photo. She is now directly facing me, unlike when we started where I could not see the other ear. Now I can see the two ears. So then we just draw the hair in. Okay, so we take from the mouth, from the lower jaw to the side now. Okay, then we can put in the ear. Still on the same spots. So because you're drawing the ear doesn't mean you should just draw something funny. Follow the lines that you can see on the ear and draw exactly the way the lines are. All ears are not the same. They look alike. Most of the ears look alike, but you draw some ear and they are totally different from any ear you have ever seen. The interesting thing about working from life is that you get to have a direct contact with the person that you're drawing, unlike photograph, and you get to also see the difference in the way human structures are built. Everybody is not the same. And people look alike, but there are so many differences. Sketching from life makes it easy. Okay, makes it easy for you to come in contact. Now there is another light at the other side here. What do we call that light at the other side? Now, reflected light. The light is reflecting. We already have middle tone on the face. We have strong light coming from the right hand side. But on this other side, we have another light that is not facing light, but it's also light. So you can just bring in your lines. If you notice, we started with shape, but at this point I'm no longer working much with the shapes, except I locate a shape that is solid on its own. So what I'm doing now is that I'm following the contour lines. Any line that is presented to me from the image, that's what I'm following now. So from the model. So I'm drawing the second ear now. And interestingly, the form of the ear too is uniquely different. So you get to meet that as you draw. So, but most times most parts of human body are very similar. So once you understand how to go with one, already you notice I'm already shading now. If you notice I'm already shading because I can see that most of the feature of the face I've already captured most of the feature. So I'm already shading because those areas I don't just want to draw it and just leave it that way. So I'll just prefer to just shade up straight. So this other side, this is the neck side. Then there's a shape at the neck, like a triangle. I'm separating this side now is a middle tone, this side now is a light tone, and this side is another middle tone. It gives you another shape that connects with the neck and also connects with the shoulder. You understand? So this is how you go about building the structure. So from here now, okay, because of the way she plays her hand now, you see that the shoulder, one side has gone up. Don't change it. The shoulder, one side is higher. One side is higher. So because we are now using the face to be the judge of the surroundings. So then this other side is lower and straight to the shoulder. But now let's go back to the eyes and see what details you can capture and put in. So firstly, I'm just making sketches of the areas that are middle tone and light middle. So here now, there are some light, but it's not totally very light. So I bring in some shades. Now I'm bringing in a middle shade, a middle tone. Okay. So then I'm bringing in a middle tone. All this area now, they are darker than where the light is coming from. So that's why I'm shading them up together. And that shade up together is called massing up. So it's like a general tone. Then this part of the face too is a bit middle tone. So this is the upper part. So all this side now is middle tone. Though you're seeing light, but it's not very strong light. So then the eye. Remember, the eye is not just a circle that is dark. The inner one is darker than the outer one. We try to establish that too. So then I'm shading up the lower part of the eye. So now all these sides are generally darker than where the light is from. If I try to leave it so light, it will not show the contrast. Contrast is the difference between light and dark. The intensity of the light to the dark, when it's strong, it creates what we call contrast. So all these sides now, they are like middle tones. They are all in the dark. Even this side too, they are all in the dark. So all these sides too are all in the dark. So we'll still come back and shade them up so that we can establish. And remember, when you're shading the lips, the upper lips is always darker because it does not receive as much light as the lower one. Let me just have a general sketch for the hair. Okay, so this hair goes down. This hair. You see, I'm picking them out one. You take your time to draw them out. But if you're drawing them right, before you know it, you are done. And you'll be happy with what you have done. Okay, so picking it out. Here. So then we have this. So generally, I'm just gonna shade everything up. But I'll still come in and create some lights on the air. But generally, I just shade it up first, especially when the light on the air is not that strong. You understand? Okay. So at this point, okay, so you followed all those process till you get to this point, have you? Now, if you notice, I'm not really concerned about it looking like her or not. What I'm concerned about is picking the main features of her face. If I want to paint it to look exactly like her, it's still the same process I will follow. But I will not be explaining, so I'll have 100% connection. So, but what I'm doing now is I'm teaching you, so I'm explaining. So my mind is not fully concentrated on that, but it's concentrated on how you are able to pick what I am explaining. Okay, so at this point now, let's pick details for the eyes too, for the second eye. And I think I see a little reflection. So the circle I just draw now is the darkest one, while I shade up the middle one. Then I increase the eye, how dark the eye is, the upper eyelid and the eyelashes on the second one. That's all I could see from there. Then the second to the upper eyelid, then the darker area of the eyelid before the eyebrow. So I'm shading up the eyebrow now. So I'm back to the hair so that it can help the beauty of the eye to look more interesting. Now I see a shape here that's more like a weaving of the hair. So I'm trying to bring it out. Like I mentioned the other time, I'm still going to go into details of the hair. Okay, so now let me pick the other eye again. So the eyebrow for the other eye. So this side is a bit darker. Okay. See what I'm doing now? I'm beginning to add more details to the forms. So this side now is a bit darker. So I'm putting it in now. Yeah. So I'm here to wait. I'm seeing something that I didn't really pay attention to. Okay, I've seen it now. This other side too are darker. And these are mainly because she's not facing the light. The light is coming from one side. So, and if you notice, the concentration I'm having now is different from the beginning. But in the beginning I was explaining a lot of the features of the face. But now I'm trying to capture like the details of the face. So I'm on the nose area. And mind you, every twist or every turn of light gives you a different impression of the face. So this is the second nose now. So I have the nose straight in, then lower part, then here comes in. Okay, we'll soon be done. So this area now is darker because it's totally away from the light. Can you see it? Totally away from the light. So, and here now I've established that this side is darker but not so dark. So we're bringing in some other features. So okay, let's say she's looks like she's smiling a little here. So we make here that's created some depth here, and here too a little depth here. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here it's not totally that light, so just bring in a little shade here. And here too, a little shade. So we're almost done. Okay, the lower lips now. Then okay. This eye is not so dark, so let's bring in more dark. Eyelashes. Little eyelashes. Little eyelashes, okay. 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 Then bring it down here. Okay. So okay, so now we are to the neck. Then remember here we have already put the contour that it's a middle tone. So what we just do is to just shade it in. And here is a dark tone generally that has some middle tones in between. And here has a reflected light. And then here too are generally dark. But you first shade it in with a middle tone. Shade it in with a middle tone. And then you now start bringing in the darks. Remember, here is reflection. So then here too. Okay, so here too is a little shade. is darker, bring it in again. So you just keep going the way looks favorable to you and the way the model appears. So, okay. So, just that. We'll be stopping here. Let me just put in some little shade here. Okay, so that's the basic thing about drawing the head. So you can go on and complete it downward. Okay. Same way. You are using pen. You either try to do hashing or cross hashing or other type of shading. Okay. So I believe with this video you have been able to see how to start drawing a portrait from life. Mind you, when you're drawing from life, a lot of things changes position. But the first drawing you do and you capture the contours, it will help you to be able to put in the details and not change the position by the time you get to those spots where the model has moved away from. So you don't necessarily need to be worried about the model moving, especially when the movement is not so much. So because it's just a sketch, if you're going into details, you might have to go further than this. You know, this side now is in the dark. It's not as if they are totally in the light, but there's reflection of light on all this area. Understand? Okay. So this is just a study of head sketch. Keep following us on our channel, and there are still so many interesting drawings and paintings that you're still going to see. So this is a live sketch, and